Rose Queen started pretty much growing up. I grew up outside of Tyler, Texas, which is where they have the Rose Festival. And growing up, my dad always said, don't go dating the Rose Queen because you can't afford her, because it's a very upscaled festival. And so when I got to college, recorded a couple albums up in Lubbock, and had some really, really good songwriting friends up there. And one of them is named Kenneth O'Mara. We were talking about songwriting. We had been songwriting buddies since freshman year of college, and we sat down after dinner and we were talking about song ideas. And I had told him what my dad's quote was growing up, and the whole idea of the Rose Queen. And when I told him this, and I've been thinking about this song idea for a long time, when I told him, he kind of like, his eyes kind of lit up, and he was like, "Dude, that's a great idea for a song." And I thought it'd be neat to do the album. Call the album Rose Queen. It was a fun song, and the previous album, Misunderstood, was about Lubbock, and this is about Tyler, and hopefully continue the trend of picking Texas towns to dedicate albums to. Hi, this is William Clark Green. Here's a look inside our new record, Rose Queen. We knew the title track of the record before we started the album, and the process of starting the album was hectic. We had no management, we had no booking. The band wasn't falling apart at the seams, but we lost a member, a really important member, and I knew that we needed to do something drastic to keep hopes and keep everybody's line of work ethic towards the goal of coming out with a great record. So we had talked with multiple producers. I knew I wanted to go somewhere that would be an experience. We could go for weeks at a time and do a record outside, travel. And I was talking with Brian Keene one night, and he told me, you should talk to my wife Rachel. She knows a lot of great producers. She's very in tune with with musicians, and I feel like she could find someone that you could work with. And I set up a phone meeting with her and talked with her, and she was giving me all these different options and players that could play on it, that would play along with my band, and studios and producers. And she had it she had it lined out. And at the end of the conversation, it was like 15 minutes, and it just clicked. I was like, why don't you produce our record? Have you ever produced an album before? And she said, well, I've done a couple. And I was like, I feel pretty comfortable with you producing our album. Would you like to do it? And she jumped at it. The direction that she was putting it was exactly what we wanted. And we pulled the trigger on it, and she was our producer, and she picked studio time, and that's how it started. We wanted to make the best record possible, and we felt like we had a budget that we could accomplish, which at times, how big of a hole do you want to dig? It's the first record that I've done that I've been 100% happy with every song that we did, and that to me speaks volumes for the producer to be able to allow that outlet to find where the song needs to be. And as me as a songwriter and a half-assed musician, it's very difficult for me to relay what is in my head, even though I know what I want, but it's hard for me to tell someone what I want. I just kind of know it when I hear it. It was a great experience. I cannot wait to get back in the studio with her, and the band did a phenomenal job. Jay Saldana on drums, Cameron Moreland on bass, Stephen Marcus on guitar, and they killed it. And we came out with a record that we're all very, very proud of. And I feel like it made us a lot more comfortable with each other. And I think a lot of individual talents were recognized in the studio as opposed to playing a live show. And I feel like that was one of the biggest things that we gained from the experience was was really seeing how talented everybody was, and hearing Rachel, a professional musician, go-to bass player in Nashville, brag about, Cameron's bass playing and Jay's drumming and Steve's guitar licks. Hearing that feedback from her, was a big confidence boost. We went to Nashville to make a Texas record, which is a bizarre train of thought. And when we went there, and our deal was, we don't want this to sound like a Nashville record, which sounds like, well, why did you go to Nashville? Well, we wanted to have band vibe, and we wanted simplistic tones. We didn't want a lot of stuff on the tracks, that effects and stuff. Just wanted a simple, good sounding, clear record. The record is honest, writing wise, playing wise. I'm a firm believer that the guys that played on the album, and we had some studio people come in too. We had a studio steel player and banjo and mandolin, and Brian Keed played keys and organ, piano. But the majority of the people, the brass tacks, the bass, drums, guitar, vocals, the songwriting, everything is honest. There's no bullshit. She Likes the Beatles was a song that I had came up with due to a phone conversation my drummer was having with his girlfriend, and they were in an argument, and he put the phone down, and he was shaking his head, and the only analogy he could come up with was he was so angry. He's like, she likes the Beatles and I like the Stones, and that just explains our relationship. We never come together on anything. And we were in Eastland when that happened, and I ran to my room and wrote down she likes the Beatles and I like the Stones in my room, and I walked back in just smiling, and I don't think anybody really understood what happened when he said that, and but I knew as soon as I heard it, I was like, man, that song is it. That could definitely be a song.
She likes the Beatles and I like the Stones. She likes romantic movies, I like Indiana Jones, yeah. She goes to church and I stay at home. Oh, she likes the Beatles and I like the Stones.
This is Rose Queen.